All right, Scott, obviously a series of big announcements here. Was it nice to kind of have one of these days again where you get up at the podium and you say, hey, we have big news, multiple pieces of big news?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is, each one of these could have been its own, day of media by itself, because when you talk about the jump to CBS Sports Network, and then you talk about France, you talk about the fight with Cyborg and Lenkau coming here. That's the first fight in prime time in the U.S. And then also announcing Gegard Mousasi versus Douglas Lima. I think that that's some big fights coming to CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, you got the TV deal, you got the big fights like you were talking about, but also the locations. Going to Europe, back first time for you guys since the pandemic. Right. Into Italy.
That's right.
And into France. So. Was it difficult to maneuver in those locations? Maybe there's new regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's obviously a lot you have to go through before you do something like that.
Yeah, and the thing that's challenging is it's really fluid over there, as it is here, because sometimes they spike, sometimes they drop, and then regulations change daily. Sometimes you can get into a certain country, sometimes you can't, and it's been interesting to see how this is all unfolded. And so we're thankful to go to Italy and to do those fights, because we have about 100 fighters under contract that haven't been fighting there, and we could get them here, but it just made more sense to go over there, because we have some fights on Channel 5 that we're going to do in the UK and Ireland, and it made more sense just to go there, create like a studio situation like we have here, and then and pump out these fights and get these guys busy, because they just haven't been fighting. And so like I said, instead of bringing them all here, we just decided to go there and make it happen.
So I know obviously you just announced these dates, but what's kind of the vibe going forward? Are you going to try to hold events there and here, kind of bounce back and forth? Is it going to be one of these things where, kind of like the UFC does with Fight Island, where they go to Europe for a period of time? Like, what's the travel situation for you guys going to be like?
Well, once you're in Europe, it makes sense to stay there, and then do 2 or 3, 4, 5 fights, whatever. But my hope is by April or May of next year, let's say, that things will maybe have balanced out a little bit. And who knows if there's going to be a vaccine or not. But, it'd be nice to go back there to Ireland with a full crowd, right? It'd be nice to go to London and have a full crowd. Go back to Israel next November. Now, we've already booked a date in Israel for next year, and we already have a date on hold at the 3 Arena in Ireland for the next fight next year. So this year, 2020, has been interesting, and I'd say we just, at the end of the year, we put a pin in it. And next year is a brand new year, and hopefully by the second quarter, we'll be back to doing fights inside of an arena with a crowd, and things will be a little bit more back to normal.
Yeah. And let's talk about the fights this weekend as well.
Yes.
Obviously tonight there's fights,
yes,
and tomorrow there's fights. So
yes,
tonight's fight between Machida and Phil Davis. Do you view that as a number one contender fight? Is it safe to say the winner of this fight will be next for Nemkov?
I mean, to me, I want to hold judgment until I see the
Sure.
fight. But I would say, look, it's definitely 2 top guys that either one of them could fight. One of them already did fight Nemkov. That was a close fight.
Yeah.
Close fight. I think that was in Israel last year, if I can recall.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, and so they had a great war, and Nemkov, what a talent. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I honestly didn't think I would ever see the day where, Ryan Bader had such a hard time with him, and Ryan came out throwing bombs, but Nemkov just showed that he is he's arrived, and I think to me, he's the best 205 in the planet, and we do have the best 205 pound division in the planet, bar none. So to me, that's, when you think about, the fighters and that we have, even like tonight, Phil and Machida, and then you have Nemkov. I think Gegard will eventually move up to 205, because he told me he wants to fight at 205. He wanted to fight Bader, but if Bader, I haven't talked to Bader about what weight he wants to fight next. But if he wants to move to heavyweight, then Gegard won't have a chance to fight him. But he could fight Nemkov, or he could fight Phil or Lyoto. We'll have a lot of choices at 205. So I'm, Corey Anderson's on board now. So that group has really become a very healthy, robust division for us. And I will say this: Ryan Bader, Phil Davis. I mean, both those guys, or anybody that's come over from the UFC, they come over in free agency. It's not like they come over here just because they got kicked out. That's a lie.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that comment.
That's
from
a
Dana.
lie. The truth is, they were free agents, and they, wanted to shop their wares, and we offered them a better deal, and so they came over here. But listen, these guys are prize fighters, right? And this is not something that they do just for fun, you know. Maybe early on in their career, you know, but these are athletes at the highest level, and they're prize fighters. And if they can get a better deal here, why wouldn't you come to Bellator? You know, if you have a better deal there, then stay there, go do your thing. But you know, as far as you know, being kicked out of a certain organization, that's a lie.
Yeah.
You know?
And obviously you heard Dana's comments. You know, what did you make of the cute comment and the follow-up? Obviously you just addressed, but.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, it's like, you know, I would just say, look, you know, he's doing his thing and we're doing our thing, and it is what it is, and you know, it's you know how he is. So we're going to continue down the path, keep doing our thing, and you know, at least he didn't say I was ugly.
Very true. Is there any like, you know, did you feel any sense of, hey, I'm doing something right? Because, you know, Dana's up there at a press conference after his show, and they're asking about your fighters. And I can't remember, you know, the last time that Bellator was like 2 or 3 questions at a UFC press conference.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean, is that something that's a little bit of a, is there anything to that to you?
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I mean, I just thought this one reporter brought it up. But listen, this organization is growing, right? This organization has resources, and you know, you can see the move to CBS Sports Network, and there'll be other opportunities for us too inside the family of platforms here at this company. And so, to me, we're gonna make the right decisions, and it's really about, you know, growing the brand and growing the fighters, right? And I think it goes back to, we are very good star identifiers. I think we're the best at identifying new stars and building new stars, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Like I said, every day I wake up, I'm not thinking about those guys. I'm thinking about what we need to do and focus on how we want to grow this product. And so we're well on our way. And to me, this is monumental. The France deal is monumental, because I'm sure they would love to have been there too, right? I mean, everyone wants to be first. So we were invited, and they gave us the first license, and to me, that's a big statement in itself.
Yeah. And talking about different fighters in your organization, I just wanted to get you on camera talking about Brock Lesnar a little bit. You had given a statement, I think, to Ariel, just saying you'd love to have that conversation. You know, how realistic is that? Do you think that from the business side of things that could be something that would be worked out?
Listen, you know, the situation with Brock Lesnar is, I don't even know if he's a free agent. I don't even know if he really wants to fight. I don't know, you know, what his situation is. But you know, I reached out, you know, and talked to them and said, hey, if Brock wants to fight Fedor, we have the guy that could be the fight that never happened, right? Yep. And so we'll see what happens, and we'll see if that's really something that he's serious about. But you know, only Brock knows. But if he was available, I'm sure we could make a deal. I mean, I would go right to, you know, our CEO Bob, and I would Bob Bakish. I would talk to him about it, saying this is a great opportunity. And I would bring Steven Espinoza and David Evans in the mix, because it would be probably a big commitment. But that's a fight that would be a big piece of business as well.
Yeah, and I know last time that you were here and we spoke, we talked about Fedor and Verdum and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of getting the vibe that maybe Fabricio and Bellator is not something that's necessarily going to happen. Would you say that's accurate? Or?
I mean, you know, it's you know, I love Fabricio, and you know, we're friends, and we've known each other a long time. But I went to Fedor and I asked Fedor, you know, is this important to you? You know, like to avenge your losses in your career, because we have 2 fights left. We're going to do them both outside the country. The final fight will be in Moscow, in his home city. Now it's his home city. And you know, is this something that's important to you? And you know what? He was like, you know how Fedor is. He's like, you know, it's like. So to me, it's like if Fedor wanted that to happen really bad, then that's the fight I would love to make happen, because that's, you know, the very first time he lost. He did it in San Jose. It was Strikeforce. We had 18,000 people there. I could tell, you know, it was a magic moment in the history of MMA that night. So to me, I would love to put that fight on, but Fedor doesn't seem too excited about it. I mean, like, he's over it, I think, and that's really what it comes down to. And so, to me, we'll find some other opponents that he's passionate about fighting, but he could change his mind about Fabricio. I will sit down with Fabricio and Ali sometime, maybe in the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But we'll see how the conversation goes. But right now, you know, I was hoping that Fedor would have a little bit more, you know, like energy, or you know, like it would, like his soul had to do it. Like sometimes these fighters, I have to fight that guy. Yeah. I have to fight that guy. Give me that guy. But you know, when he was like, yeah, sure, you know, I was like, okay, I get it. You know, maybe you're over it. But if that changes, that's the fight I would love to make.
Yep. A couple more from me. Michael Chandler, any update on him? It seems like he's kind of shopping around. Is there any more discussions you guys have had?
Yeah, I mean, Michael's deal is very simple. You know, he has the right to go bring offers, and then we have the right to match the offers. And so we haven't seen any offers yet. And when they come in, we'll evaluate it and we'll make a business decision at the time.
Yep. Corey Anderson, is there any update on maybe a time frame for his debut, an opponent, anything like that?
Not an opponent, but I would say he'll probably fight in. I mean, we would like him to fight in maybe the late October or November series. But he will fight before the end of the year.
Okay. And last one for me. Let's talk about the bantamweight title fight you have going on Saturday. We can't forget about that. Just kind of give me your overall thoughts on this one. A lot of people are saying it's the best fight of the weekend. So just break it down for me from your perspective.
I mean, it's this is the best fight of the weekend, I think. And two young, guys going at it, and Archie had a ton of experience, and when I think about the skill level, this is at a very high level, and I think that, I'm not sure who's going to win that fight, and I think that's how a title fight should be, and I wish them both luck, but this is MMA, and you never know what's going to happen, so I wish them both luck, and may the better man win.
Yeah. Well, cool. Appreciate the time, Scott, and congrats on the deal again.
Yes, thanks. This is going to be great for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.